We are back with the Green Bay Phoenix Basketball Coaches Show presented by Prevea Health, the official healthcare provider of the Green Bay Phoenix. We're very happy to welcome on to the show Senior Lyndsey Robson, who has had a very, like everybody, has had a very odd offseason going into this year. We'll talk about that and look forward to the season. Lyndsey, really appreciate your time. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. So I want to just rewind a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time on what's happened, but it was about this time a year ago that you're hitting a half-court shot against Syracuse, and now everything that's happened since. Have you taken any time to kind of reflect on how different the world is now from even just 1 year ago?
To be honest, there hasn't been a lot of time to reflect. We're always like working on the move and everything. So we're just glad to be working out and taking it day by day. So
What was it like? I mean, there was so much period of uncertainty from the moment that Horizon League championship game ended where you thought you were going to be in the WNIT, to that not happening, to leaving campus, and just everything that's continuing to go on. How tough is it when I know you guys want to practice, want to play games, just want to be able to be as normal as possible, but that's hard right now. How do you deal with all that?
we just got to be thankful for the time that we have in the gym. And I know our team is a bunch of gym rats, so it has been difficult for us. I know in June we actually all showed up in Green Bay, and we were working out in Cassie Schultz's shed. That's how desperate we were to be playing and being back together with each other. So, we find a way and we make it work. And I think everyone has to do that nowadays. It's tough, but we make it work.
What were those shed workouts like?
Well, there was a lot of cleaning the floor, so we weren't slipping and sliding, but they're fun, and it brought us together, and we were able to, after we work out, go swim in her pool and stuff. So if anything, we had a lot of fun with it.
So the season finally is going to get underway this Saturday. Is it a relief that you can finally, hopefully, be actually playing basketball games and all this other stuff you can maybe put to the side for at least a moment?
Yeah, it's huge that we got a date and that we're able to look forward to that date and prepare for that date, because it's tough when you go in and work out every day not knowing what's going to happen. So that's huge that we have that date and we can look forward to that. So we're all very excited, and we'll see how it goes.
The state of college basketball, you see it. I mean, every day there's another program that had a positive test, so they're on pause for 2 weeks. It seems unlikely that every game would be played this year. I know it's another question about uncertainty, but how do you kind of prepare for that, knowing that even once the season gets started, you never know what might happen one game to the next?
I mean, it's like if someone gets hurt, you never know if it's your last game, so you just got to give it all that you can with the time that you have. And I think that's what we kind of learned. Like, we never know when it's our last game, so it's important that we don't take anything for granted and that we work our butts off with the time that we have, because you never know.
This program, it has been senior class after senior class after senior class really setting the tone. And now it's your opportunity. How, again, in a very unique year of showing leadership, but can you talk to me a little bit about how it feels to finally get to that point and you are one of the leaders and you got a very young team, so just showing them really what the Green Bay way is?
It's actually pretty easy. We have a great freshman class, and they're all very receptive and wanting to learn. So I think that so far it's been all going pretty smooth, and we all love to spend time with each other. So it's very easy for us to lead, and it's very easy when you have people that want to be led. And I think that's the huge part with this team, is everyone wants to be led, and they're always open for suggestions and everything like that. So I think that it's been very easy this year because they're all open to be led.
I talked with Coach Borseth earlier, and I asked about the three seniors, and he said one of the things to watch out for is the making sure that you guys don't feel like you have to do too much, that you have to carry the team completely every night. Is that a challenge, especially with a younger team?
I mean, yes and no. It's a blessing in disguise as well, just because we're able to score, and we're able to do everything. So I think that we just got to feed off of each other, the seniors, and just make sure that the younger girls know that they're capable of it too, giving them the confidence that they can score, they can do everything, and it's not just going to be us. So I think that this year it's going to be huge that we build each other's confidence up so they don't feel like they have to depend on us.
At least for the time being, no fans at the Crest Center, which is going to be weird. And it's one of the best home court advantages in all of women's college basketball. Do you I saw it when I was around the Brewers. I think we see it with the Packers when they play home games versus road games with fans. Like there's an energy and excitement and urgency that maybe isn't there as much with those teams when there's no fans in the stands. What have you guys thought about that? What do you do to prepare for that? Just not having that extra energy in the building.
It actually has. We haven't really thought about it. We're just kind of lucky and glad to be playing and have that date. So I guess we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a little different. We're going to be able to hear everyone. We'll be able to hear Coach very, very clear. So that'll be different. But there should be no excuse for no communication and not knowing what plays we're running and stuff like that. So I think, we'll see how it goes. I can't really speak on it because it hasn't happened yet.
I apologize to Coach earlier because you guys might be able to hear my play-by-play as it's going on. Like there's going to be so little noise. I don't know if I'm going to have to be whispering during the thing. So we'll see how that works out. Just before we let you go, this is a pretty good Drake team you got coming in. It's always tough that first game of the year because you don't have film from this year. But this is a team that won 22 games last year, have a fair amount of players back. So you've got a big challenge coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be fun and it'll be a good challenge. We'll learn a lot with this first game, and it's a great opportunity for us, we get to learn a lot and we get to play a great team. So we'll take it and learn from it and, give them all we have.
Awesome, Lyndsey. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time. We are really glad that you were able to come on.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me.
That is Lyndsey Robson. We're going to continue on with the program. Coming up next, we'll continue on with Coach Kevin Borseth. This is the Green Bay Phoenix Basketball Coaches Show presented by Prevea Health, the official healthcare provider for Green Bay Phoenix Basketball. We welcome you back into the Green Bay Phoenix Basketball Coaches Show, sponsored by Prevea Health, the official healthcare provider for the Green Bay Phoenix. As we switch over to the women's side of things, we're very happy right now to welcome on to the show the head women's basketball coach for the Green Bay Phoenix. It is Coach Kevin Borseth. Coach, appreciate your time. How are you?
Very good, Matt. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's great to see you. We're excited about things getting rolling, and we'll look forward to this Saturday in just a moment. But I do want to rewind a little bit because clearly a lot has happened since last season unexpectedly came to an end a little bit sooner than anybody expected it to end. And can you just kind of take me through? I still remember walking out of that arena in Indianapolis when the team lost in the Horizon League Championship, thinking the WNIT was next. The team might go on a nice little run in the WNIT. There's still a lot of basketball to be played. And over the next 72 hours, really, everything in our country kind of stopped, including sports and basketball. What was it like for you kind of juggling, trying to make sure to have a team ready to play that next game while also the uncertainties of everything that was going on?
It seems like, Matt, it seems like a long time ago.
Yeah.
We've just kind of lived hour to hour since that time, everybody's been just glued to this coronavirus situation. So it seems like it was an eternity ago. It really does. I don't remember, other than, not being successful in that game, getting over with. It was just like, well, that was going back now. The season was over and we moved on, and we've been waiting for, the next thing to happen. And here we are playing a basketball game on Saturday. So it's with a lot of uncertainty what the future holds. So it's been a very long process from the standpoint that, like I say, it's been hour to hour for us.
Nothing has been normal since that time. And the kids were away from campus for a long time. They finally got back. It was practice and things like that haven't been the same. Recruiting hasn't been the same with the no in-person stuff going on. Just in terms of the way your team has responded, can you talk to me a little bit about that, what they have done, maybe led by the senior leadership, to handle everything going on in this world and do it in a productive manner?
Well, it's been so hit and miss, I think, for everybody, Matt. The summer was pretty much canceled for the most part, and that's normally the time when we really make our hay. Our seniors get a chance to start the new leadership for the next year, and they were kind of, I don't want to say robbed of that, but they were robbed of that during the summer because I think we got together for, I want to say, 3 practices this summer in the month of July is all that we had. Getting the new freshmen in, trying to maybe show them some of the things that we do or show them some of the Green Bay way things. So it was a very, 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 very short stint in the summertime. And then, of course, coming back and, starting practice. And, our seniors are trying to do their best to lead at this point right now, but it's just been so, our world has been so flippant, the kids are just waiting for something. It's almost like you're waiting for something bad to happen. The press has just literally instilled so much fear into us with this current situation, and I wish they hadn't. It doesn't seem like there's any good things out there, and I think our players have been affected by that. Not only our players, but I think the entire world's been affected by that. So it's been difficult, but I think if we can get some sense of normalcy and get some games going, it's going to help the kids a lot because it's been hard on them.
I wasn't expecting to talk about this, but you brought it up, so I'll ask you this very quickly. From an emotional standpoint, you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds who are living in this weird world, and I know there's a lot of talk throughout the country about isolation and things like that. Do you and your staff need to maybe monitor the emotional state of the team more now than ever that you've been around?
It's hard on kids, it really is. They want to go play. Mm-hmm. It's what they do, and all of a sudden they've got to be locked in, can't go anywhere, can't do anything. So I think it's been really hard on our kids. And we try to stay connected as much as we could during the course of the summer. And of course, now practice, it's been really good. So it's a great stress reliever for those guys, but having to deal with online learning and all of that, it's just, nobody really knows what that effect's going to be for years to come, obviously. But I'm just glad the kids are getting an opportunity to play because I think it's really important for them because I think it's been both physically and mentally draining for them. So I feel good that they're able to actually get out and play.
How different does a practice look? I've seen pictures with masks. I know there's some form of social distancing going on, breaks, that sort of thing. How different has been putting together practice plans been like for you this year?
Well, instead of water break, you give a breathing break. The masks are very, while they're important, they're very difficult to play basketball in. It's hard to run and have to breathe your bodily waste. It's very, very difficult. And we try to get the kids to keep their masks up. Of course, now when we play games, we're going to be playing without a mask, so that'll be a little bit better. But it's been real hard to condition our players. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest part because we've been as coaching staff, been very reluctant to have our kids get up and down the court because it's hard to breathe, with the mask on. So I think we've been really, really lax in that area, So I'll be interested to see when the game rolls around if we can get up and down the court.
I don't want to make this entire conversation about COVID, but it's kind of the world we're living in right now. We're trying to
I know, I'm sorry.
Things, and we will certainly move to some basketball stuff. I mentioned recruiting a little bit ago, and not specifically, but you talk about the Green Bay way, and this is a really special place and a really special program, and you love the opportunity to be able to show that off, and you haven't been able to be face-to-face with kids. How much does that impact the program from a general perspective?
Well, recruiting has been different. Everything's been done online. So they started to stream at the beginning of the summer. So we were able to watch multiple events online. And it started not very good, but I think the streaming got a whole lot better. I actually liked it because we were able to actually pick and choose the games that we wanted to watch and be in different locations as opposed to having to go to one location, watch kids play. And then the next weekend, go watch the same kids play at a different location. The next weekend, go watch the same kids play at a different location. We were able to actually watch a lot more kids this way. They're probably the biggest drawback is just the ability of those kids to be able to get out and take a look at the universities that are interested in them. That's probably the hardest part about this whole thing. But it has changed recruiting in that regard. But it was good for us because we could see more kids, but again, harder on the kids because they haven't been able to get out and view those universities that are interested in them.
As we start to look towards a Saturday, though one of the big changes, at least at the early part of the season, and we'll see how long it goes, there will be no fans at the Crest Center. Your fans create one of the best home court environments in all of women's college basketball across the country, major conference, mid-major, whatever it might be. It's a great home court advantage. How do you do anything to get ready for the impact of playing in a quiet, empty arena?
I don't know. We've never really dealt with that, Matt, before. So you just got to kind of go out and play, you know. I wish the parents could watch. I'm a parent, and we've been isolated from watching our children play, and I think that's just so important. And I feel bad for that. I feel bad that the parents and the children, don't get a chance to unite in that capacity. I understand what's behind it, but yeah, it's going to be different. And I really don't know, Matt. I don't know how you adjust to that. I think once the ball gets thrown up, I think a lot of times it becomes numbing, Mm-hmm. But I think when you come out on the court game day at our place and the music's going, you can smell the popcorn and people are roaming around. It just really gets your juices flowing a little. So I think that's going to be a lot. That'll be missing, when the game starts and stuff. Maybe we'll get some popcorn brewing upstairs so we get the smell of game anyway.
You watch what's going on in sports. I was around the Brewers, and they played in empty arenas, and I think it impacted the way the game was played and the intensity. I think we're seeing that in the NFL. When the Packers are home, it seems like they're missing a step, and then when they go on to some of these road places where they can play in front of fans, there seems to be a little bit more juice. And we heard baseball teams and we've heard football teams talking about trying to find ways to create their own energy. Is that something you address with the team, or is that something you play a little bit and you just see what it looks like?
I guess I've never really experienced before, so I don't know that I can really anticipate anything, Matt, other than the fundamental part of the game and really zeroing in on, what's going on. Because I think at the end of the day, even when you do have fans in the stands, your mind kind of becomes numb to that, and you just play. You're just so zoned in. You're so zeroed in on, whatever facet of the game's happening at that time, that that's what separates good from the great, And I think our kids have to just be able to do that. Obviously, we'll miss the fans. But I think I agree. I think there's a lot of places, and of course, you referenced the Packers and the Brewers, of missing their fans. I don't think we'll be any different because we've got great fans, and I feel bad they're not able to watch us play.
I'll apologize in advance if I get excited on the radio call and everybody can just hear it in an empty stadium and it distracts. I'll apologize for that right now.
Yeah, I hear you screaming on the side. I hope you get good and excited. We need some excitement, right?
Yes, the whole world needs excitement right now.
Yes, yeah.
Speaking of excitement, you added to your coaching staff this offseason. You brought in one of the top players in the history of the program in Maren Crocker. What has it been like having her back in the program and part of this coaching staff?
Phenomenal. I mean, Maren is just she's brought life to me. She's brought life to the players. She's brought life to the program. She's got a lot of energy. She's got a lot of great ideas. She's already hit the road recruiting in areas that we haven't explored before. She's just she wants to be here. I think she demonstrated that as a player, and she's demonstrating that as a coach. And as a player, she was a coach on the floor, was a very mental kid, really knew what was going on. And of course, that really translates well into being a good coach too. So players are gravitating to that extremely well. Maren's going to do a phenomenal job here. We're very excited about that.
When a game ends and you win or you lose, that number goes back to your name, coach, but you've got an assistant coaching staff that works real hard with you. How do you go through the process of listening to your entire staff and kind of cumulatively putting together game plans and ideas and that sort of thing?
At the end of the day, Matt, I got to really, while they do, somebody told me a long time ago, people can hear, but you got to listen, Mm-hmm. So I can hear a lot sometimes. And I guess my key is to try to pick the points out that are really going to enable me to, things that will help, filter the things that are good, filter the things maybe not interested in. But I think at the end of the day, I've been so driven in my ways, and I think that has helped quite a bit. I think I've gotten away from that a little bit. Sometimes I think I listen too much. I think at the end of the day, when your back's to the wall and the things are going against you, you really go back to the basics, the things that have made you successful. And, we'll be challenged this year because we're so young. We've lost a lot. We've got some injury coming into this first game that we're not allowed to announce, but we've got a freshman. We got a lot of players that are going to play that have never seen a collegiate basketball floor in their life. And it's going to be a whirlwind. Caitlin and Megan and Lyndsey are going to have to hold the fort down for these guys, because things happen in a hurry, especially play against veteran teams like the teams we're going to wind up playing, right off the bat. But it's going to be a learning experience for us as a staff, for me as a coach, to preach a little bit of patience, but at the end time, going back to the things that are really important and trying to find out what those things are, trying to make your team competitive and getting better as the season goes on. But I believe this. I believe our ability to get better, if you're measuring on a yardstick, is going to be 33 inches. We'll start at 0. We're going to get 33 inches better. I think some of the really good teams might only gain 2 or 3 inches, But I think we're going to get a lot better as time goes. We got a lot of we think very competent players and some very driven players that want to be good. It's going to take some time to develop them. From that standpoint, as a coach, I just have to be patient with that process.
You mentioned the seniors and Caitlin Hibner, Megan Pengel, and Lyndsey Robson, and your program very often really centers on those seniors who are back. That group, what makes them special, and what excites you about them being able to lead this team moving forward?
Well, they're like every other senior class we've had. They've gone through the ringers, and they understand what it means to be successful. They understand what it takes to be successful. They understand the value of being a member of this team at this university, representing everything that Green Bay is all about. And they'll do their best to do that. Their challenge is going to be far greater, in my opinion, than the other senior classes that have come through, because everywhere they look, they're going to see faces that have never played before. So they're going to have to really, I think they're going to feel their need to carry the load is far greater than hopefully it really is. But their challenge is going to be very big. But now I know those guys, and I know how patient they are and what good people they are, and that's probably the players we want to recruit, people that are good people. So I think that the other players are going to they'll be patient with those kids equally as well. And hopefully in the end, like I say, we're going to gain a lot on that yardstick.
I'll finish off with this. And you mentioned the youth, and you mentioned the yardstick and getting better. How challenging is it for you in the middle of a season where you're trying to win every single time you go out to maybe be able to take that step back and enjoy watching some of these individuals in the player development and see these players grow as the season goes along? And even right now, I mean, I'm sure since practice has gone underway, you've seen some strides from some of your young players.
Well, the whole is, there's a song that says there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done, And for me to look back on my career and the players that I've had the ability to work with over the time, it's fun to see those teams and how they have materialized over the course of time. And this one will be no different. There's struggles when you're going through that. There's frustrations when you're going through that. There's some joyous times when you're going through that. There's some ups and downs that go with that territory. And through thick or thin, I think I'll be real proud of these kids. It's going to be a challenging, yet it's going to be a fun year because I got a good group of kids to work with.
And it's not an easy start. You got a Drake team coming up on Saturday, 22-win team last year. They've got a fair amount back. This is a challenge in front of you.
Yeah. It's not going to, any team we play this year, it's not going to really be easy. I would think we're probably going to be the underdog in a lot of games, Matt, knowing that we've, like I say, we're so wet behind the ears. Our kids just don't have the experience. But every challenge is going to be difficult. Just kind of got to break it down to every 30-second possession and make that into a 5-minute game and play about how many 5-minute games you got to play, Matt, in a 40-minute game, 8 of them, right?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and just be really good, kind of win those 5-minute battles, because it's going to be basketball is a funny game. A 20-point game is 10 baskets. 5 you make and 5 they don't make, Mm-hmm. So if you can get lucky and get yourself in a position where you get in the fourth quarter and you're in the game, you're within a couple baskets, obviously you got a chance for anything to happen. So that's what we want to work for. We want to get ourselves in a position to be successful down the stretch, and we got a good cast of kids that are willing to work to do that.
Well, we look forward to socially distancing, seeing you coming up on Saturday, and thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome, Matt. Thank you. Thanks to Phoenix fans too.